Okay, so I just like freshly sharpened my 5.5 and the low angle. The low angle, it stays sharp for a little bit longer, I believe, slightly longer. I mean, I guess it's because of that PMV 11 blade, but that also means that sometimes I tend to delay sharpening a little bit, which I should not be doing. So I was working on like planing the end grain or the edges of the panel, and it came out pretty good. But I always felt like there was a slight hump at the center, and that tends to happen because it tends to like I force my plane. It's not sharp enough. I force my plane at the beginning. It takes a bite, or like it planes the initial part, and then it skips over the center part. So I'm pretty sure about that. So so I don't really need to take any more shaving on this one. But since I freshly sharpened it, I'm going to do a final touch up, because even though it's clean and it's the top of the shoot ID, where like the exact dimension doesn't matter to me as much. Really, I don't need to, because yeah, it's actually like 90 degrees. I mean, it's like very fractionally higher at that end. So I don't really need to, but just to. So just that like one shaving, I mean, feels good to me. I mean, I took an end-to-end shaving, which I should not. Ah, wow, it's very good right now. So I'll leave it at that. The other end also, let me double check how I had finished it. I mean, it's been a couple of days actually since I may put this all in one video, but this is also like good. I was able to manage it towards the end, but I mean, with a freshly sharpened plane, it would have made it so much easier. So I will leave it at that, because like I had to struggle a bit more, but at the end it's all good. Now this is the only side that is remaining, and I can barely see my pencil marks. Like so, let's see. I have to work on that one. I had, like, if you remember, I had done a freehand on bandsaw, so it's there is a lot of undulation. So I'm trying to get over the high spots. I mean, I could take a deeper set and go over it like in a couple of passes. Actually, I can. Let me do that. I'm watching my pencil line because I want to remain around that line. That's what I mean. There is a little bit more like remaining. So before that, let me see like how I'm doing. Yeah, I'm slightly up, like higher on the on that side away from me. It wasn't too much. So This is good. Maybe one more. Take the iris off. Because sharp corners, they tend to fracture, especially if I bump it up against a wall or something. So what I'm going to do is like just measure, like just to measure the sides, like if they are near about like same distance, 90. Actually, I'm pretty good. Now I have to clamp it and plane it down actually. So let me do this check also. Like this is all again just to the visual thing. It's doesn't matter. Nothing like depends on this one. Yeah, it's perfectly flat is concerned. I just have to work on planing this a little bit more. I was struggling on the sawhorse, so let me see how I can clamp this on my bench top. I will use the clamp in a vise thing. And one more thing I'm willing to do is go this corner to corner to get rid of all the like let me advance it a little bit. To make sure it is flat. The light set, but this thing wasn't flat enough for my liking. This is a lot better. There is still a little bit of like hump at the center. I'm a little bit concerned I will bump up my hands against this wall, so have to be a little bit careful. Let me pull this towards me a little bit. So easier to plane this way than using the sawhorse. Done. So this side is done. This was supposed to be the back side, I guess. This is very nice. I mean, I'm happy with that. I mean, a little bit here and there, but it's I mean, I'll try to get the other side now, and whichever side looks better to my eyes, I will use that as the tabletop. Yeah, this thing just makes sure that I'm starting more or less like without any significant like bump at the center. This side is also looking good now. A sharp plane, of course, like this bench top, like I'm able to clamp it like much better. That's really helping me speed up things. Using the sawhorse to get this done wasn't the best of ideas. Let's see, this edge piece is like yeah, I think I have to use the other side as the top because there is a lot more material like For some reason this is like way out of alignment, so I think it's just sensible to use the other side as the tabletop. Even though these two panels, they look really nice. Let me see. Well, this thing also looks good, so I will use this side as my tabletop. Now I have some work to do on that one. Let me show you how that's. So this is where I have kept it. I'll be using it this way. So I've decided no rocking this way, so that's good. So this side is where it has to be hinged. So this thing being 7 by 8 inch thick, so we will be using a filler there, like to strengthen that. I will be gluing another strip of wood so that there is more surface on that one, and then this thing can be hinged on top of that. So this piece is, by the way, like I had bands on from the, so when I was trying to make the lid, so this was the extra. Yeah, so now I really need this to be 9 by 16th, which is let me take a rip 1 inch from this one. So I have this strip ready. I hope this is the right size. I mean, that's what the plan says, so I'm going by that. But I don't think I recollect this being slightly wider than this size, so we'll see. Again, this is not critical to have it like dead to size. But I try to shoot for some level of accuracy, which is, this is good enough. Plus planing is fun. So I will double check this that I mentioned. I will come back and work on like gluing and screwing this, and then we'll work on hinging the. I have the hinges I got from Amazon. They're not like the expensive brass ones, they are cheaper, but they should last, so we'll work on that next. So I have this stick cut out. Now one side I will just make it 90 degrees. Don't think it will matter as much because I will do some shaping at the end, but good to start with something that is accurate. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. I could use my shooting board. I used to like rely on my shooting board for all these type of things, but this end grain vise has been so much helpful to me that like it's way faster. It's the regular. I have to use my regular grip on my hand plane, and it gives me a perfect result. So what I want to do here is let me show this again. Why are we, so I did a little bit more like analysis on this one, why we are putting this, because if this thing is visible, if this thing is visible, there is this slight bit of overhang on this frames, the legs and these rails, which is going to cause a little bit of problem when we hinge this. So that's one of the reasons why we do it, so to fill that gap, and also it provides a little bit more support. The length I am going to take it is like I'll have like a 1/4 inch overhang from each side. So let me see how much that comes out to. Not 1/4 inch overhang, rather 1/4 inch shy from each end. That's what I mean. So I will use just a knife to mark this end. Sorry, I forgot to move my camera actually. So yeah, I was just cross cutting that end, and I'm checking if it is near about that 90 degree. I won't bother like trying to shape this or like plane this, which is because I can come back later with a file. So this is the one. I'll double check this. This is good. Now what I'm going to do is like again I have to juggle my camera a little bit. So there are two things I need to do. First of all, so I will just I don't think this is visible on the camera, but I hope this is like simple enough. So I'm just making it flush to, and I will put a pencil line here. So basically like I have to cut like the tenon shoulders, if that's the, so I'm marking the ends or like the how deep so basically like this is what I marked on both ends. And then the next thing I need to do is also I'll put this in. What I will do is like, let me bring a clamp. It's very hard to hold that piece there. So just makes it a little bit easier to, I put those knife nicks. Now I can cut those tenon shoulders. So let me mark those. Again, these are not joinery, not like a joinery or anything, so they don't need to be accurate at all. But we shoot for some level of accuracy so that they look nice to the eyes. So now, so what that means is I could even like instead of like using any gauge or anything, I will just use my finger as a gauge and mark these tenon. I'm just extending those lines from those. Let me use the finer saw. This is such a thin piece. Just like a regular tenon. Actually, one thing I forgot. I'm hurrying on it a little bit, so I tend to start with this one first. This saw is like cuts very well, and these are like very inexpensive. The only reason I don't tend to jump into that is they are finer tooth, and I will have a more difficult time trying to sharpen those. So that's the reason I try to use those less. That's the only reason. Otherwise, they just work amazing. I'll use my regular tenon saw on the other piece. I will use my router plane to just size these, but let me do a quick check. This fits actually very good. Yeah, a little bit of cleanup with the router plane, this thing is ready. That's it. It just guarantees a parallel surface, nothing much. Like this is almost ready, but just the final cleanup, like I want to Okay, so I did something on this one which I really didn't need to do. So I had taken a little bit more on this side. Uh, so what I did was that I glued a piece just to like fill it up. I didn't need to do that really, because I could have taken a shaving on this side and it would have worked. But yeah, I just went with that. No, I will check this how it fits. There is just some little bit of like cleanup needed to, like, on this corners. Now when I do this, like holding the piece on this hand and holding the chisel this hand, this is not something recommended and all. So I'm choking up on the chisel so that I don't overshoot this way. I have like really cut my hand badly doing this, like during my beginning days. So I'm still doing that. Maybe I'm not learning from it. Always good to use the vise as the third hand. But if at all we are doing that, what I mean to say is that choke up on the chisel so that it doesn't, we have decent control on that. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm not going to do more on this one because I could go all day. It's just going to remain hidden underneath, and so not much, not really too much value in trying to shape that one too much. So uh, when I attach this way to the back, these edges, they look like little bit clumsy, or like they don't look that much polished. So I'll just shape these in like create a small arc on this side on the top, and like a bigger arc on the bottom, so that it just has add some like some bit of character, if that's a. I will use my rasp to get still the finer side of this rasp. Let me angle it. And always, like, I'm using this rasp, but I have like the good ones, like the hand stitched ones. They are like this one works if someone has it, and for the money you spend, that is like a very good, like a rasp. But these are like hand stitched ones, are like joy to work. So that one was too aggressive, even the finer side, and I see a little bit of breakage here. But these things, it's taking down material rapidly, but at the same time just going by eye. I could leave it even this way. This like the top side. This looks this way. I'll break the edges a little bit. I could stop there, but I'll just also round off the bottom part. A little bit. This one. So basically giving it like some kind of a shape. Sight it by eye and see like whether they look more or less fine. So looks fine. Like now I remember what Paul Sellers did was he actually drilled a couple of, like, I think 3 holes, and put screws and glue, and then he used plug cutters. I believe like he did that because he wanted to continue with the work. So I am like I don't have much time right now, so I will be heading back. So I will just use glue, and I will come back tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure this will be like pretty strong. Now I will do what I normally tend to do, which is like more clamps than needed, but that's okay. That's it. I will leave it overnight. Likely tomorrow or day after tomorrow over the weekend I will work on the on hinges.